addressed in the press release. Number one, from the DA's office perspective, I want to thank the community. I want to thank everyone who was involved in giving tips to the police, everyone who called in with any information at all over the year and a half. That is very much appreciated. Obviously, after today, those tips don't need to keep coming in. Hopefully that's understood. I want to sincerely thank the Pennsylvania State Police for their tireless effort to see this case to an end, particularly by name Trooper Jason Kachera and Trooper David Rush. The other thing I would add is that I did not give a lot of detail in the press release regarding Mr. Strawser's current legal case down in West Virginia. He's been charged with murder, if you don't know that by now, down in Preston County, West Virginia. Legally, what will happen here is we will wait until that case is done down there. And by done, I mean until he's eventually sentenced, if he is sentenced down there. There's an interstate agreement on detainers that will be in effect. When this complaint is filed, as it has been this morning, it will go down to the correctional facility that he is at down in Preston County. It will act as what's called a detainer. Once his case is complete down there, we will be notified, and then we will have the opportunity to bring him up here. Are there any questions? I can take a few.
Why did the Breezes wait so long to come forward?
That's a great question and a fair question. I'm sure a lot of people are asking that. I certainly can't speak for them. I can speak to the facts that were in the affidavit. I'll leave it at that.
Can you say anything about why they felt that he was following them, or that he meant to be following them?
I think those details were listed in the affidavit. They knew each other. He was volatile. They had a volatile relationship, as they explained to the police. And it was volatile that night with some threatening comments from him over the phone.
What was communication like with the family between law enforcement and up to today?
I can't speak about the communication between PSP and the family to date. The first time I spoke to them was Friday last week. It was a teleconference with both Timothy's mother and father, and let them know what was happening today, express my condolences, and thank them for their patience.
How terrible is this crime? I mean, this doesn't happen all the time. Like, how do you deal with this as law enforcement?
It was a terrible crime. Every murder is a terrible crime. I think that at the very time this happened, given where it was located, at the time there was probably some fear in the community about why this happened. So as I said in my press release, the two questions were who did this and why did they do it? I think was what most people were probably asking. So today we have the identity of the person who committed this act. As far as the reasoning, Courtney Breeze and Jamie Breeze indicate that they believe they were the ones that he was actually looking for that night. As you can see in the press release, their vehicles were very similar in make and model and style.
Could the Breezes face charges like obstruction for holding off on informing you guys for so long?
If, generally speaking, if evidence existed to that extent, that's theoretically possible. Upon review of everything I reviewed, that's not possible.
Not like
that evidence does not exist.
And where are they from? Where do they live?
In the local area, I believe that's referred to in the affidavit. If not, if you want, I can give it to you later. Okay. PSP might be answering that later.
Was there ever a fear this will never be solved?
Was there a fear would never be solved? No, I wouldn't call anything a fear. Obviously, when someone is killed, that's the most important event to law enforcement until it is solved. Certainly, the longer a case goes, the more perhaps disappointing it would be until you get to that point, because your goal is obviously to find who did this. So I don't know that I would characterize it as fear, but certainly there was a tireless effort.
Can you do anything between now and however long it takes? Like, it could be years until we actually...
I can't predict how long it will take in Preston County. I can tell you that I have made contact with the prosecuting attorney's office down there in West Virginia. I certainly can't predict how long that case will take. I have a hard enough time predicting how long my cases take up here. I'm not very good at those predictions. There's lots of variables. We will certainly be in touch over the next coming months and perhaps years as to what the status is down there.
What do you have to say about the fact that he is off the street? I mean, charged in 2 murders, he's very dangerous, obviously.
Thank goodness he's off the street. He was off the street for over a year after this particular murder occurred. So I hope the community feels very safe and very happy with the work that PSP has done in this case.
Is that why charges took so long to be filed? Did it have anything to do with the fact that he was already incarcerated? Because I believe they called their tip in April.
They did, and further investigatory steps were taken after that as well. As you can see from the affidavit, or I'm sorry, from the press release, to confirm some of the information we received from the Breezes. We took certain steps, laboratory testing, that sort of thing. Actually discovered a lot of the physical evidence after April. Any other questions? One more. None? All right, too easy. All right, thanks, folks.